Hello, this is Niilo from Insomnium.
And this is Ville from Insomnium.
All good, promoting the album, doing interviews.
Yeah, signing thousands of these for pre-orders as we go, and enjoying the press day.
Yeah, for those who order the art book from our own web shop, they will get the signed card.
Yes. Extra.
The extra content.
You do the extra effort.
Yes.
For the support, continued support.
Yes, especially the release shows. Getting a bit nervous about them, of course. Many songs we have never played before.
Mm.
It's gonna be good for sure, but
yeah, I mean it's exciting to get things released. We still have like one music video coming out as well, so it's kind of nice to get to see that. We haven't saw any version of that yet.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting for us, and just it's nice to get the album out there. We've been sitting on it for quite a long time already, so it's nice to get it out there and see people's reactions.
Yeah. Well, some versions of some songs were already in that phase when we were doing the EP, but like Lillian, one of the oldest songs probably, and Godforsaken is quite old as well.
Yeah, it was before pandemic. Sorry, we had a demo of that already before pandemic. Yeah, it's kind of like the one sort of writing session during the pandemic where most of the material has come about, but also some stuff came like within last year and the year before that, so it was kind of a bit more fresh.
Of course, the setting is as accurate as possible, also historical setting, but of course these things that start to happen there's some fantasy elements of course involved, so it's like Winter's Gate, which also kind of starts as a historical story, but then mythical elements coming, so it's in the same vein as that. Mm-hmm. I have studied history in university, so that's kind of my passion as well, so all the details must be right, and it was really nice to talk. We had one interview where there was interviewer and me and then historian from university who was specialized in this era, and she said that she will use the lyrics and the story to show to her students, because they are telling about the life and the situation, atmosphere in the 17th century so well. So it was kind of the best possible feedback that I could get from that story. Well, of course, this Suden Morsian story, Wolf's Bride or Bride of the Wolf, novel by Aino Kallas. It's one of the coolest stories ever to come from Finland. That's kind of main inspiration. So my story is kind of continuation to that, kind of imagining how things would have gone differently, and of course then set in this era, which is the kind of worst demographic catastrophe in Finnish history, when like big part of the population died because of hunger in a couple of years. So that's kind of the setting for the story.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess like that interview you had, like there was kind of good notes for the fact that it was kind of hard to do the agriculture back in that day, and then you have had this kind of cooler periods in time, like not like mini ice age, but something similar, with the climate is colder, and we are sort of, Finland is sort of on the brink of if agriculture is actually viable and possible, and then you had just few years when things really went south, and you didn't have food. So I mean it's kind of linked to that sort of bleak times in that sense, and then also like witch hunt and this sort of, you had more kind of beliefs and then maybe less scientific idea about things, how things work and how you can kind of control things.
So kind of several threads come together in this story. That the witch hunt things and this great famine in Finland and this werewolf story, of course.
Yeah. So it's kind of historically accurate in terms of what happened during that time.
Yeah.
But it's fictional story. It's artistic.
Yes,
expression of is that based on pure facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you talk about like werewolves and stuff, is that something people believed in those times? As a historian, I don't know.
Definitely yes, and of course, like witch hunts, they seem like absurd nowadays. That how is it possible? But the belief in devils and Satan, and that these people actually visited devil in the night and stuff like that. People actually believe that was true, and a witch hunter character in the story thinks he's the hero. He comes to save the village, save the society, save the land from these trolls and witches. So he comes and burns the witches. But that's kind of the real mindset in those times, and the belief in these supernatural things was real.
Yeah, and I think it kind of coincides with the sort of lack of understanding how things work, like scientifically. How would you?
Sorry.
I can come in this sort of perspective, but it's true. Like people were more kind of superstitious in a way. Like you have some rituals or beliefs. How these are still like people have these sort of beliefs in many cultures in Finland as well. Some of the remnants are still there, like wish you luck and that sort of thing. It's based on beliefs and rituals in order to be sort of like able to control processes.
It's always hard to judge from inside the band. Like, does this sound like everything we've done before, or does this sound somehow different or fresh? But of course, we try to renew our sound and do something we haven't done before. And it's good to hear that someone is hearing these new elements there, and it's not the same old Insomnium again.
Yeah, I think like definitely Markus was pushing the boundaries in his songwriting, and I think he's written something he haven't kind of written probably with other bands before, like with Omnium or Insomnium or I'm the Night, is that the black metal process. Maybe doing that album also kind of fed into this sort of songwriting process as well, like writing a bit more black metal style, that sort of vein, and then kind of that kind of filtrates to the Insomnium writing style as well. It's hard to kind of analyze afterwards, like where different influences come from. You just write music is sort of like intuitive process. You don't think too much. You just write and something comes up.
Yeah. So in that song specifically, the black metal influences came from him then, or?
Yeah, definitely. And then there's some. I would say like some like one of the other my song as well has some like darker elements to it. So I mean like. Maybe because we kind of decided to kind of go more into sort of darker style in here, we kind of run away with that sort of writing style, because we kind of listen all sort of music from very, very soft mellow rock instrumental stuff to the extreme metal. So for us, like, it's the same, it's just music.
But when the story was finished, then it was kind of clear that it has to be quite black and cold. So a lot of these black metal elements came in after that, of course.
Yeah, and we've been kind of flirting with those already previously in other songs, not like fully embracing it into this extent, but having like blast beats and things like that. So it's just like taking that like bit in the sense theme now. So I had a previous contact with her, like she and Tuomas Holopainen, they were recording Tuomas' solo album, and I was living in London then, and I knew Tuomas from somewhere, like just exchanging emails, and I just met them then, gave some recommendation what to see in London area, and I had Johanna's email from that meeting, and then we were just kind of thinking, we asked a few people, but it didn't really work out, and then I got like, well, maybe we could ask Johanna actually, and she said immediately yes, and did a really good job delivering the vocals beyond our expectations. So it sounds really good and cool.
Yeah, she has this Elven maiden voice that is very, very unique. So it fits perfectly this kind of story we're telling, and that song. Yeah,
and that song originally had a female vocal sample. So and it was like so central role. So it had to be there, but we didn't want to use the same sample. We kind of ripped somewhere from internet, so we want to kind of reproduce that and recreate that with real singer
and it became much cooler.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, first time when we played the song in the rehearsals, we all agreed that it has this Rotting Christ vibe in it, and we started joking that maybe we should ask Mr. Sakis to join us. And probably in the next rehearsals, we were already thinking that we should really ask Sakis, and then Markus has been touring with Rotting Christ with the Omnium Gatherum, so he knew the guy before, so he asked, and Sakis was happy to jump in, and he liked the song, and he even appears in the video, so it was a really cool thing for us.
Yeah. It was like we want to do maybe less polished sound, and that's why we chose Jaime Gonzalez, who's recorded stuff with Paralyzed Lost and Moonspell and several different artists. Has a different approach, doesn't want to resample drums and doesn't reamp the guitars. So we basically used the stuff we recorded, and he was overseeing the drum recordings and also how we found the guitar sound and stuff. And we also want to kind of, let's do a bit more, you know, old school, not as polished, and then let's not go to Fascination Street this time. We did master it there, but like just gonna do things a bit differently as well.
No Amarante sound for us.
Yeah, and nothing like everything that comes from Fascination Street sounds great, and
of course.
So
of course.
But like just try out something differently, something different perspective, different man.
Yeah.
Or woman. Man and woman.
Yeah, we talked about this before, of course, because it's one of the lighter, more hopeful songs amidst the darker ones. But on the other hand, it's a good single. It's catchy, very Insomnium kind of song. So it was kind of safe way to start. But we could have released singles in different order as well.
Yeah. So I mean, in the end of the day, probably doesn't make big difference. Yeah. I mean, like, it's hard to kind of capture the feel of the album, which we feel is sort of like Entity, by just releasing one single, because there's so much diversity. So even with the 4 singles we will have out, there's still some surprises left with the songs you will not hear before the album comes out. So I think it's kind of hard to kind of give the full musical style and the thing away.
Yeah.
But it's nice to keep people kind of guessing, and like Lilian was first, and White Christ is totally different. Kind of, what is happening now?
Yeah.
It's like to do things. Nice to do things like that.
There was kind of dichotomy. You could see that also in, like, if you just like, sometimes you just kind of bored and you look like YouTube comments of those videos, like, I really like the first song, and there's like, this is so much better than the first song. You can see like people were kind of dividing, like, okay, I like this song better, I like this song better.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because they are very different songs, so I totally understand that someone would prefer either of them.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you're like secretly like reading into the YouTube comments. I would have presumed that you're at a stage where you don't really pay attention to those anymore.
Well, like we get bored every now and then.
I don't read them because I get so angry all the time. But,
I was just thinking, like, initially when it came out, it's just kind of fun to just like, but like, I'm like, you just have to leave it. It's internet. It's, you know, you can't take it too seriously.
Yeah, we haven't decided that yet.
You'll have to come and
see the show. Yes.
We're not 100% sure yet. We'll see.
Maybe not the whole album, but let's see.
Yeah.
Because it's actually the same day that the album comes out, so most of the songs people haven't yet really heard. So it probably doesn't make sense to play them all.
Yeah, and you know, it's a concept album, but it's not only made of one song, so you can easily pick and mix.
Yeah.
So in contrast to Winter Skate. Yeah.
But at some point, it's possible to play through the whole album live. It's possible. Yeah.
All songs work.
Yeah.
Live and at rehearsals.
Yeah.
So.
How would you solve the guest appearances? Like, there are some bands who use a backing track for those things, but are you the kind of band who's like, we will do it?
We are exactly
ourselves?
that kind of band. And that's how we solve these sort of issues. So we would have, at least for Johanna's performance, we would have backing tracks. I think with Sakis you could probably.
Probably I have to just
you
sing
had
it.
to just find your inner Sakis.
I have to find my inner Sakis, but with Johanna it's probably must be done with the backing tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless we bring her along, that's one option.
Yeah, you could do like with guest appearances, of course, like Sakis was joining them on stage during the 70,000
just a couple of days ago.
of metal, so Rotting Christ was playing, and previously we had Mikael Stanne from Dark Tranquility joining Weather the Storm, so these are kind of like nice things you can do when it kind of happens that everybody's around the same.
But probably we have to play God Forsaken live, and Johanna can't always be there, so we probably have to use the backing tracks.
Or she needs to join Insomnium. Like,
well, that's one option,
So more songs with her makes sense.
We'll see what happens. I mean, like, switching between like having 2 guitars and 3 guitars is a bit of work because we play different parts and different things. So I think just doing that sporadically doesn't make sense. Also, in this sort of economic world, is more feasible maybe do shows with maybe 2 guitars. I'm now kind of living out of this band, so I've been doing less touring. So I think, it's imperative that people who are doing this for profession will live out of this, and they are the main sort of life force behind everything. So I've been kind of like taking a step back from touring, and but we'll see. I like playing live, but at the same time it takes a lot of time and it's a big hassle. Kind of try to put all the schedules together, and I think I would be just holding everybody back if I would be saying like I want to play also all the shows. So we can do it every now and then, I think. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I was I was stand up for Mr. Vanhala for the last European tour as well for a few days because there was overlap with Omnium Caterum. So there might be he's such a busy guy with multiple bands, so there might be overlap in the future. So at least we have a backup and reserve.
I wouldn't call you a backup at this point, but
We have plans yet, but it's not yet released. And the tour is not even ready, but it's in the works.
Yeah.
For the autumn.
Yeah, but we'll definitely do European tour as well. It's just like sometimes things take time to line up, and we'll let people know for sure when it becomes.
And finding the right package is sometimes tricky that you find
and schedules and everything.
Yes.
And
for sure, some Finnish shows. I'm quite sure that in the autumn there will be.
We will do more like maakuntakierros.
Maakuntakierros.
Yeah, play outside Helsinki area.
I think Kuustok was confirmed today or released the news. What others are?
There will be
several
festivals in Europe and Finland. So it's pretty fully booked.
It's quite fully booked all the summer.
Not everything has been announced yet, but we'll do in due course.
Come to the shows.
Buy our merch. Make us rich.